Well, hello, traders and investors. I'm LA Little, and this is your weekly NeoTA wrap. We take a look at these markets. We're doing it from a neoclassical perspective, and that means each time we ask ourselves what happened last week and what might it tell us about the coming ones. I do this show 4 times, actually 1 time a week, every Sunday evening. It's broadcast out before 10 o'clock Eastern Time. It's archived on YouTube, and it's available. It's under the name LA Little. If you want to subscribe, you can. You can reach up in the right-hand corner and do so. One of the things I brought up on the Thursday show, I want to repeat it today, and that is that we have a mentoring program. And the mentoring program is, you can read about the details here. You just come and click on it. That mentoring program is about neoclassical mentoring. In other words, we explain the model, we go through it, there's a checklist, program description, and so forth. One of the things I suggested last week on Thursday is that I'd take the first 10 folks that were interested and take them through kind of a crash course of the mentoring. If you're interested in doing that, the thing that I'm asking is that you commit to a year of TA today, and I show you how to do it. I invest my time in you to show you how to do what I do, and it's kind of an opportunity for you to get a crash course, to come up to speed a little bit faster, to really understand the model itself and how to apply it, and how to make these calls like I did on Thursday when I told you in no uncertain terms that you were probably going to get a nice bounce on Friday, which is exactly what unfolded. I don't just guess that stuff, right? I look at the market, I let the market tell me through supply and demand, which is what neoclassical is about. Supply and demand on the charts. If you want to take advantage of this, all you got to do is write me at tat@tatoday.com. That's my email address. I'll make sure that we get the information to you about what this program is and how you can participate. And again, 10 folks only. I've already got 6. There's 4 slots left. If you want to participate, you probably need to write before long because I suspect those will go pretty quickly. Let's look at what happened in the markets last week. If we take a look here, we actually had an up week overall, and that was because of Friday. The NASDAQ in particular got a nice bounce off the SOX moving higher off of AMAT and also off of Apple earlier in the week. If you look elsewhere, not that much happening. If we look at the charts and pop in here to see what they're looking like and what they're telling us, you had a little bounce, you had the reversal. I called on Thursday night here, told you we'd probably move up on Friday, which is what we did. If we look at it on a weekly basis, there was also reason there, although I didn't go over this, there was also reason there to believe it would happen because you were coming into a key area that should have been a place where people would do some buying. Now, if you're doing the classical stuff, right, you're probably doing Fibonacci's. The 38.2 is probably about right there. The 50 somewhere down here. The 62.8 is down into this area, or 61.8. And so, you come into the first fib retracement on average is probably somewhere in there. I mean, we could measure it, but that's probably where it is. You can eyeball these things pretty easily. And, find support there as well if you're using classical stuff. But, it's not just classical stuff, right? These things have reasons, and it's really supply and demand. And if you don't believe that, then why are you a capitalist, right? Supply and demand is what drives everything in capitalism. And I know there's outside influences and outside factors, but in the end, it's whether people are willing to buy or not. And if you can measure significant points where they will step up or won't, or at least there's a test, then you can see how that test plays out and make decisions. And that's exactly what we did on Thursday. Is the way this chart looks now, it's going to try to push a little bit higher, is the way it's set up. I think you're still going to see that resistance that we've talked about on any kind of a push back up into this area. I don't think that's gone away anytime soon. As a matter of fact, there's still the potential to come back down and test farther down. I don't think that's off the table. And if you think about that test, right, that's this swing point low on this time frame. That's going to be a big test if and when it takes place. And I suspect it's probably going to take place here at some point. I don't think it's over. I don't think it's off the table, I should say. If we look elsewhere, NASDAQ was the one that got the better push last week. NASDAQ's setting up pretty well. It doesn't have a bad setup. It's got the same sort of reversal we talked about on Thursday. NASDAQ can trade a little bit higher. I gave members this morning, matter of fact, just finished recording it, telling them where I thought this one could go. Told them the same thing on the index and the Russell. But in general, we're going to try to bounce this week, and then we'll see where it goes from there. Going to set up some tests, and we can see what those tests look like. I'm going to leave it short and sweet this week. Look for some sort of a bounce, a continuation, and probably some more pressure later in the week. That's where we stand this week. And again, if you want to learn how to make these calls and profit by them, give me a ring. Just pop an email to me there at tat@ta today, and I will give you information or send some information to you about how to participate. Have a great one. I'll see you next time. Good night.